Morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Talk on a beautiful sunny day. I mean, it's like practically summer.
I gotta say, I've been waiting months for us to start doing some of these outside.
Yeah.
Because I'm done with inside.
No, on a day like today, it's just it should be a crime to be inside, except when necessary. I mean, really. It's one of those, because you got to enjoy it, because it's going to be 30 on the weekend, and for me that's a little too hot, so we've got to just the breeze. It's just beautiful. Welcome to Coffee Talk. This is where we just connect and talk about what's going on at Lakeview Heights Baptist Church, and we are at a brand new aspect of our city.
Yeah, an exciting one.
And some of you will know it, some of you won't, and so we'll just tell you, it's City Hall. We're at the backside. I don't know where the front of this building is. I still have yet to go in.
I think City Hall is on that side and the library is on this side.
So they gave the library the view. That's
true.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For all of us who are going to be in there looking through bookshelves. There's a beautiful. It's a beautiful location. Right behind the camera is like the outdoor amphitheater area, where there's a lot of music in the park over the summer and things like that. And it's just it's a great. I'm excited about this as a feature for our city.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a great gathering place for people. And we're here because we've just concluded our Bless series, and it seems weird to call it a focal point because it came at week 2, but we've been encouraged throughout to be praying for our community. Praying specifically for the people on your street, for our neighbors, and so we thought, let's come down to City Hall.
Which is also a funny thing, because before we started this book, we weren't not saying don't pray for you, right? But it's sometimes funny how much we need a reminder on certain things, because I actually even have to have in my calendar and in my watch, pray for your street, pray for your city. I actually have to put those in, because if I don't, I have a tendency to kind of meander and, got 25 other things in it, and it kind of gets pushed off. But when we can kind of keep coming back to some of these things, and I want to say coming back to basics, sort of, but actually this is very advanced level Christian faith living out kind of stuff. Even though it's 5 easy handles, BLESS, but man, it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But it's good and it's worthwhile and all those things. So, so Jeff took us kind of did a big recap of everything, BLESS, and I don't know, did you have any kind of aha moments kind of coming through the end of this and saying, okay, here's something that kind of just struck me?
I think what struck me is just sometimes we make up, or I make up in my head, loving my neighborhood or being, representing Jesus in my street is a much bigger thing than it needs to be.
Yes.
I think what I was most struck by is just the simplicity of it. Okay, I'm going to begin with prayer.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually look for opportunities to talk with my neighbors, and by that I mean I'm going to listen to them, because that's the L, right? I mean, eating with my neighbors. We've had neighbors over for dinner before. These are some ways, some of these things, a lot of them we already kind of do. Maybe not as frequently as we should, but they're already parts of the the ebb and flow of life throughout the course of a year. And it's oh, well, that's how I can show, oh, what I'm doing is what we can do to love our neighbors.
Yeah, we complicate it very quickly.
Yeah.
It needs to be just...
What about for you? What are kind of the things that...
really kind of like what you said, just the simplicity of it, but also even pre all of this was what Jeff kind of pointed out, is that all of this really comes from God himself. That 1 John 4 says, we love because God first loved us. So this is only being played out, and we are loving our city, and we are loving the people around us and our family, and blessing the people around us only because God actually first loved me. And that's actually where I need to start, is that, man, I am so loved by God, and I am so blessed by him, and I just want to extend that. And that's really what this is, an extension of God's love, that we are simply there's that old hymn, Channels Only, that we are focusing God's love flowing through us, that we don't take it, hold it, and then say, this is all mine, and I'm going to enjoy it, and how wonderful it is, but I'm not going to talk to my neighbors. I'm not going to care for the people around me. I'm not going to be moldable and shapeable and all those things. So that was a really big moment for me. But even there was that story that he brought of the research paper, or the research that of the 2 groups that went to the Philippines, and I think we might quickly dismiss that as us world missions. I think everywhere we go, including our own home, is a mission field, even in our own heart. And so, are we trying to convert people? Are we trying to just convince them? Or are we actually trying to bless the world? Because we will actually see much more fruit when we love the way Jesus loved, rather than we're just here to check a box and move on, right?
Yeah.
That's not the way that Christ has called us to live this out. So that was extremely,
and that's great. I mean, it makes me think too of God does the hard work. We just our job is the faithfulness of it, right? So I think, I don't want to say we make, God can work through anything, whether we mess it up or not.
Yeah.
But when we just simply seek to bless others, I think that creates a great, like you said, the channels, right? The word I would use would be conduit, right?
Yeah,
it's like God
conduit.
just flows through it, and blessing is a great. It's what Jesus did, so let's do that.
Yeah.
So it's great.
And
go ahead.
And even sometimes, getting back to sometimes I forget. So sometimes we forget. So that's actually what we tried to do. We finished this series off, and sometimes you're going to forget. So when you reach in your pocket, like I did just now, and you forget, and then you say, "Oh, look at that! I now can remember." So if you weren't there on Sunday, we actually handed out one of these to everybody. So we have a whole bunch more of these. If you didn't get one, please come see the office or grab one on Sunday or whatever.
Yeah.
But we want to be able to remind you and remind us and remind ourselves. This is not the be-all, end-all, but man, that's a really good way to start. That when I put my hand in my pocket and I feel those keys, okay, I'm gonna be praying for the people that I'm standing and talking with, or wherever I'm at or where I'm driving.
Yeah, and let's pause and listen to them instead of no, I've got these 9 points to say, and then how am I going to serve them? And how am I going to share a story with them and listen to this? It's
and
good.
As I'm listening, hey, do you want to go for lunch?
Right, perfect. Let's carry this conversation on.
Yeah.
Over a meal.
Oh, you're moving?
Oh,
can I help you with that?
That's right.
Would that be enjoyable?
Unless you're like me and have a tendency to ding walls when you move things, which might be maybe look for another opportunity to serve. It might not be the biggest blessing if you're like, thanks for helping, but you just dropped my TV and put that chair leg through the wall. So, anyways, that's me.
I feel like because now we've lined it all up, we're at the last test. I feel like there's a story behind that.
Oh, so many things, but that's what happens when you hire youth groups to come and help with moving.
Yeah.
And anyways, so yes, we don't want to just kind of wash our hands of this bless idea, and even though the series is concluded, we want to continue to be people who bless our neighbors.
Yep.
And if you didn't get a keychain, stop on by and grab one.
And I think you said it at the beginning, but this is actually why we're also at City Hall, is to remind us. To remind us, we're praying for our city as well too, in a larger context. We're praying for the people around us.
Yeah, and there's incredible things going on in West Kelowna. It is a growing city. There is and so we focused on praying for our neighbors and the people on the street, but let's pray for our city government too, and the people who have to make big decisions. And this represents a big decision they made, and like it or not, it's I'm not saying we have to agree, but we should be praying for them through it, that they govern well, and then we'll be in an even greater city. But we want to look ahead because there's a number of things coming up. We've got 2 more Sundays in the park. And as a reminder, Kevin, the last one of those on the 30th, we've got a lot of extra stuff going on that actually starts at Lakeview and then flows over into the park. So do you want to just give us the quick bullet points on that?
So that last Sunday is really going to be a very baptism kind of focused Sunday. So because we finished the series, we're moving on. But that last Sunday, we are going to hear testimonies in our service at 10 o'clock from the 4 candidates who are going to be asking to be baptized and to be able to share that with our church body. And so we'll hear their testimonies. We'll be able to pray and encourage them, pray for and encourage them in our service. Then at the end of our service, we're not going to baptize them yet. We're actually going to head down to the park because hello,
Yeah.
this is an amazing
We're
place.
expecting this again. Yeah.
And what better place to be than the lake? So we're going to head to the park after the service, and we will meet down there. We will encourage them. We will pray for them, and we will baptize them, and just have a great public celebration, which is really what baptism is publicly declaring, I am a follower of Jesus.
Yeah, it's so interestingly, like some of the first people to baptize in the manner that we typically use, they had to do it in like town square fountains.
Yeah.
And you think of like what a public display of I am following Jesus in a way that is, special and different. And we're gonna go to the lake in the middle of a public park, and it should be good. So. I'm looking forward to that so much, and would love to see all of you there. And then the following week, we have, after the service, a special church meeting. It's a general meeting of the church, right? It's not the annual general meeting, that comes in it, but it's a church meeting. So if you're a member, we would love to have you there because we need your input. And if you're not a member, we'd love to have you there so that because this is your church, and so come and listen, and you can be part of the discussion. But we'll have some business to take care of, and so we look forward to having people there for that. Mark your calendar. It's summer, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't stop. We continue to be the church even through the summer, and so there's often cause for gatherings that are things to look forward to and celebrate. Anything else that we should be aware of? I think that kind of covers the big ones. But
that's good.
All right. Well, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today, and hopefully you get out to enjoy some summer, and we'll see you on Sunday.